Hi everyone, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld here, Trista here. And yes, you can see my dogs are out with me right now. But I don't know if that's, if that's the film or not. But they are out here with me. So today we're going to talk about, how is it that I became the keeper of time and room? Now, a lot of folks will, good buttercup, good dog, good girl. A lot of folks out there will say something like, well, didn't God choose you to be the keeper of time and room? Yes, he did. But if you go back to Sailor Moon Hearse, the two-disc following, which was taken from the Black Moonkin saga, Queen Serenity pulls me aside one day and say, well, your work is really outstanding. Your work is you get to watch over a gate that keeps time. The time to the upcoming, the time for the now, and the time for the past. And God shows you for this. And keep in mind at the time, I was young. Most likely a kid or betweener myself at the time when I was chosen. Could I say yes? Could I say no? The truth is you can say yes and you can say no to being chosen by God to do something. God does give mankind and womankind free will. So I chose to be the keeper of time and room. And believe me, there's a lot of times where sometimes I wish I wasn't. They're like, well, what are you answerable for as the keeper of time and room? I don't know, making scene that no one's going from the now to the upcoming or from the upcoming to the past. I guess that was my work. And you can see my dogs are out with me. See, there's Mimi laying down right there. There's Buttercup walking around. So, yeah. Only there was one time I may have made a mistake when I was a keeper of time. So one time I gave Sailor Mini Moon or Small Moon or Little Moon a time key and told her it was a very strong tool and she should never work it. But somehow, some way, she did work it. And you might ask yourself, how did she get back to the past then? Which would be her now going to the past. Well, I sent her back there. The rest of the Sailor Fighter sent her back there. I think it would be the Elders and the Inners. And sometimes I would speak through her, through Luna Ball or Luna P, as she sometimes calls it. But at the end of the day, it is whatever it was. By the time I show up in the two-disc following, I tell them that they all got there and they had to think of where they were going. And then to forgive me for striking them, thinking that they were, that they were folks coming to the gate of time with a bad goal. Well, God and Jesus would have not let them be there if it was not for a good grounds. So I let them go through. I also let them go back to the past as well, which is there now, which is, which was Sailor Mini Moon, Sailor Small Moon, Little Moon Rini's, past, and her now would be there upcoming. And the next time anyone sees me is in the free-to following called Sailor Moon S. And how I work with the Elders, Sailor Uranus, Sailor Sky World, Sailor Neptune, Sailor Sea World, to stop the Death Blasters, to stop Lady 90, who is also binded up with Sailor Saturn, Sailor Ringworld, the Sailor Fighter of Death and New Birth, which you would think that would be mine, since Pluto, whatever, is a Latinist borrowed word, and that would be, you'd think me being Hellworld, you think that would have been my thing, but no, it was not. And then there was another time called Pluto or Underworld Time Stop, which is a forbidden thing. And I only did it one time to stop the sky ship, which the Windy Bird was about to blow up. So I stopped so I stealed time enough for them to get out. And that was it. They didn't see me again until Sailor Stars. You know, when I was working with the inners and the outers again in the Sailor Starlights to beat Sailor Galaxia. You want to come in now, Mimi and Buttercup? Or you just want to be out here, pups? So, at the end of the day, it was God and Jesus who chose me to be the keeper of time and room. And that work is not flawless work. And some folks would say, well, who is watching over the gate of time and the free to following a Sailor Moon S, and also in Sailor Moon Sailor Stars? Well, it was said, and as you had to watch Sailor Moon Hearst too, that Diana sometimes would watch the gate of time for me, would fill in for me, you know, watching over the gate of time. If that's law to the 9 between 90 Sailor Moon drawing show, or only law to the 2000 Sailor Moon drawing show, your guess is as good as mine, but that's most likely what was, you know, going on. So, you want to go in now, pups? Mimi, Buttercup, you want to come in? Mimi, Buttercup, you want to go in? Or not? So, at the end of the day, you know, God and Jesus chose me and entrusted me to be the keeper of time, which is no smooth work, you know. And a lot of folks over the years have come up with the belief, as early as 2000 and 2006 YL, that since it's been shown that my world is a small world, and since my world takes longer to go around the sun once, and that my world is smaller than the moon it has, that being a small world somehow makes it a non-world, and somehow I should not be a sailor fighter under the grounds that my world is a small world. And a lot of foes like to bring that up. A lot of folks like to make skits out of that, either guilting me and shaming me for it. And there's some folks out there that think, oh, well, you know, you have to go with what the wisdom followership comes up with. Sometimes the wisdom followership comes up with good things. Other times they come up with beliefs, and when something shifts, then they got to offshoot their whole belief on it. When it comes to my world being a small world and being a non-world, that's where they don't want to budge at. Well, I don't really care. My world's still a world, and if that makes some folks in the wisdom followership and the star looking, you know, offshoot, or other folks irked or angered, it is what it is. Hold on, I let my dogs in.
Some people don't have to.
Alright. Put my dogs in. Anyway, so that pretty much, you know, bringing this film to an end. If you like this film, then give us a like, share, and playlist this film. Watch the other film we made earlier this morning with Sailor Earth over here. And if you are new here, hit that ringer and bind so that you know when the next upload, live stream, or short's been done. I, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld, Trista. I'll see you later.